This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, leading the league in podcasting entertainment.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back into episode 4 of the Fast Break preseason preview. I guess it would be
preseason ranking.
Positional rankings, baby.
Well, it's the preview though. I call it like the season preview content, right? Because it's all wrapped into one. But my name is Jake Neverman. I am here back with my beautiful co-host Dave Oster.
Hey, everybody.
And Ricky Widmer.
What's up, guys?
And we are back today to discuss our starting power forwards for the 2024-2025 NBA season.
We were talking about all the power forwards today. Benches, G Leagues.
I said starting. The word starting.
Leonard Miller. Hey, I got some stories to tell you.
Starters.
Yeah, we ranking our 1 through 30 starters list. Before we get into that, down below in the description, please check out our Patreon. You can be viewing this as we record it live, as J-Dub was during our small forward rankings. Yep. You also get exclusive content whenever we start pushing that out during the season. Also, the Discord is down below. It is free to join whatever sport you're into, whether it's basketball, football, soccer, baseball, whatever. There's chats for all that down there. If you want to call us out on our bad takes, you can add us straight in the NBA chat. And we are active in there. We will be talking throughout the season. And yeah, please hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell to get notified every single time that we go live or we post a video. And also, if you do enjoy the video, please leave a like. It does help us. But with that, let's get into our 30 through 21 rankings for the starting power forwards of the 2024-2025 season. It sounds still really weird to say 2025,
right?
But it's only in a couple months. At number 30, we have from the Detroit Pistons, Tobias Harris. At number 29, from the Miami Heat, we have Nikola Jovic. At number 28, we have from the Washington Wizards, Alex Sarr. At number 27, we have from the San Antonio Spurs, Jeremy Sochan.
You mean Dennis Rodman?
Stop. At number 26, we have DJJ of the Los Angeles Clippers. At number 25, we have John Collins of still the Utah Jazz. At number 24, from the Los Angeles Lakers, Ricky, we have
Rui Mora.
At number 23, no, you're right, it doesn't. At number 23, from the Toronto Raptors, we have Kelly Olynyk. I had to think for a second which team he was still on because he moves around.
Yeah. No, the good old
Boston,
days. The good
Utah.
Old days.
No, what team was it on, Dave? When you was it Utah? No, it was somebody else when you were raving about him.
Yeah, with the MMA move.
No, that was the Rockets.
That was the Rockets. See, he has so many. He wears so many different caps.
That was the truth, man.
At number 22, we have from the Chicago Bulls, Patrick Williams. And at number 21, from the Philadelphia 76ers, we have Caleb Martin.
I feel like there's some home cooking going on there.
I don't think there's any home cooking going on anywhere.
The Sixers guys just one spot above? Just one spot above?
So first off, before we start, Jake, I got a fun game to play. Can you name all of Kelly Olynyk's teams?
Oh, boy. Anybody? How many? Can I get how many? Raptors?
Name 5.
Raptors?
So he was on the Raptors 2024.
Jazz.
He was on the Jazz 2023-2024.
Boston Celtics, Houston Rockets.
He started in Boston. Houston was 21.
Now, what are the other 2 teams?
3 teams. No, 2 teams. You're right.
4. Yeah, that's 4. What are the other 2 teams, Dave? What teams did he play for? We're going to make us look real bad here off the bat.
Was he ever Miami Heat?
Yep, Miami Heat.
Yeah,
right after Boston, 18-21.
Thought so.
This one you're going to feel dumb when you think about when you finally get it.
East or West?
East.
Oh boy. I'm trying to go down the divisions. We already said Raptors, who he's currently on, so good there. I don't need to get the team wrong that he's currently on. All right, I don't want to hold up too long. So who?
Dave hates this team.
Dave hates a lot of teams.
In these rankings, he's gone after this team quite a bit.
Detroit basketball.
What year was that?
Yeah, he was their only shooter, as always.
He was there in 2021, 2022.
It was just the end of the season, right?
Between Houston and Utah.
Interesting. All right. Back to the power forward rankings. I do love that little trivia. I want to start, Dave, I'll throw it to you. I want to start with the younger guys. Alex Sarr and Nikola Jovic. It's Alex Sarr and Nikola Jovic, kind of 2 first time. Jovic picked up his role as he, not saying young guy, but he picked up his role as he gone on. First time he'd be in these rankings. Alex Sarr, obviously a rookie. What is your outlook on them during the season? Do you think they start for the entire season? In totality, what do you think?
How are you guys going to have anybody below Alex Sarr after what we watched in Summer League? I'm genuinely curious. That was perhaps the worst performance of Summer League history in the existence of Summer League. I don't know that I saw a worse shooter.
Is Summer League NBA play?
It's worse than NBA play. So if you were the worst player in what is notably worse quality basketball,
have guys who have bad summer leagues have bad careers, like 100% of the time.
Yep, 100%. That tracks.
Cool. I just want to make sure.
Yep. I don't think we've actually. I'm pretty sure he set new records at Summer League for how bad he was. He missed so many shots. He was by far the worst player in Summer League, which is impressive because they kept giving him minutes and the great.
I just want to say LeBron shot 36% from the league in Summer League. Derrick Rose shot 29%. And Tim Duncan got dominated by Greg Ostertag. And Curry shot 32%.
Greg Ostertag.
Trae Young was bad in Summer League. I don't know. I'm saying they're all bad.
No, I'm genuine. I'll
all bad. While you're doing that, I'll explain to you why there's somebody below Alex Sarr in these rankings. And his name is Tobias Harris. Listen, I'm going to try my best this year on this podcast to be straightforward, honest, no bias, nothing. Some stuff will come out from the heart I'm sure about the 76ers and Tobias is one of my exceptions. I had to deal with this guy in my starting lineup for 5.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
For 4.5 of those years, he was the highest paid player on the team. And what did he do in an elimination game at home against the Knicks?
Brick.
Scored 0 points.
Brick.
0.
Yeah. Did he even take a shot that game?
He took shots. I think he was 0 for 4 or something like that.
Brick.
0 points. Doesn't play defense well. Doesn't rebound well. Is not a good shooter consistently. He'll go off to a hot start for the first 2 to 3 weeks of the season, and then he'll fall off a cliff, and then he'll claim, well, this didn't go my way. This didn't. Well, this happened. Well, this all the deflection in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And then he signs for $26 million a year in Detroit, and he's claiming he's going to be a veteran to the young guys.
Toby the builder, man, he loves building houses.
Loves building those bricks. Yeah. Listen. I think he's a phenomenal person. All the stuff, all his work off the court is fantastic. Mm-hmm. But on the court, there is nothing that he is average or above average at consistently. And I'm sorry, shout out Soapy, that he has to deal with it now. But I had to watch one more post fade in the isolation from Tobias Harris. I was going to lose my mind. When PJ Tucker played better in the playoffs for us than Tobias Harris, that says something.
Pretty tough.
And the only reason I have Alex Sarr above is because maybe he'll be better. Maybe.
He shot 19, 11, 50.
Real bad.
Yeah. And so 30 minutes a night on 4 games.
There's only one way to go, and that's up.
That's up. And guess what? Toby ain't going up.
No, but Alex is. He'll be fine.
Yeah, Alex Sarr is. So yeah, I don't blame you for having Alex Sarr last. All right. He had a terrible summer league.
Yep.
But summer league doesn't dictate him in the NBA season.
It does not. Because
if he plays defense, he does more than Tobias does on the court.
Right. But they are putting him next to an actual center when they drafted him to be a center. So
for now.
As a power forward, I don't think he's going to be that great because he's a center playing power forward.
It's the Wizards though, so it's like he'll make a couple highlight blocks. That's all people will see on.
He will swat a ball once a game, maybe.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Nikola Jovic. What do we expect out of him in Miami this year?
He's gonna be interesting. I don't know how long he's gonna hold on to that starting role. I know that Spo is high on him though, because personally, everyone's like, "Oh, well, they drafted Khalil Ware. Like, it makes perfect sense for them to go big with Ware out there and run Bam at the 4 and actually have a true center out there." But it's not like Bam struggles, so it's like, we'll see. But Jovic does a little bit of everything. They've worked on his shot so much over the last couple of years. Like, he's a guy who's been in the league for a long time that people don't actually realize because he's had such a small role and he's been on this Heat team for a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But no, he's got good size. He's got a good shot. He can be a decent passer. His basketball IQ comes and goes. It ebbs and flows. He makes some dumb decisions every once in a while, but I think for the most part, he's a solid player. He just is someone who's a good sized body out there who can stretch the floor. Like, the problem is guys take him off the dribble. He doesn't have the quickest hips. I'm a little concerned about that, but again, you always have Bam behind you, so it's kind of like a cheat code.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like this Heat team has a safety blanket and Bam, and you always have like Jimmy Butler. And so between the two of them, you should be fine defensively to get by. But I think that I'm leaning towards I want to see what Ware can do with Bam next. Like that tandem is what excites me. And I know Jaime is someone else who people have been like, oh, well, didn't he play well enough to be a starter? Him and Jimmy have so much overlap that I don't know that they're gonna want to lump their minutes together too much out the gate. So
Well,
I
and
think
the
the
good thing
floor
is,
spacing from Jovic is like the value, you know?
yeah, and the good thing is that Jimmy will sit out a bunch of games, so
Yeah,
Jaime will play
that's
anyways.
likely. I'm
I think
curious. I didn't actually get to see it. Did he wear a goofy costume today?
I didn't see anything on Twitter today, so I don't know.
Okay.
But their media
Okay.
day was today. Ricky, I'll throw it to you.
Yep.
For the next kind of grouping of 3 players. Actually, kind of 4 players, actually. Rui, John Collins, DJJ, and Jeremy Sohan. They're kind of all a mixed bag, right? All of them have had very high ceilings and very low floors, right? They've all performed extremely well. We saw DJJ just do it. We've seen John Collins do it a couple years ago in Atlanta. Rui was on fire. Was it when he first joined the Lakers? I think it was.
Yeah.
And then Jeremy Sohan, before the point guard experiment, a lot of people thought extremely highly on. So I guess who do you think highly of out of these 4, and kind of who do you think is rightly ranked? I would say.
I mean, I think they're all rightly ranked.
Okay.
Because like it's guys like DJJ and maybe DJJ for sure. It's like I know your role.
Yeah.
I know who you are. You being in this is not an indication of you sucking. It's not like a Tobias Harris ranking at number 30. But it's like I know who you are. You are who I think you are. We're like Rui to a lesser extent, John Collins to a little bit more extent, and then Sohan to the most extent. It's like, what more can I get from you? Collins more than Rui because I think Rui's almost in the, like, at this point, I know who you are also, especially with LeBron on that team. I know who you are. But yet again, like you said, we've seen him play at the caliber he can with LeBron. So why can't we see that consistently? Collins and Sohan are the ones where it's like, where's the improvement? That's what I need to see. John Collins, I've seen it before. You can be in the top 20 of these rankings. Where you at? Where you at, bro?
Did he ever fix his finger?
I don't know. That was weird. Yeah.
I feel like he lost his shot when he broke his finger, and then he never got it actually surgically repaired. And that was like the ongoing conversation is like, yeah, and it was noticeably like, yeah. So
like Antonio Freeman bet.
Worse.
Yeah.
Worse. It was nasty. But he played with it, and it was like I get it for like the finish out of the season or something, but then I forget the reasoning behind not getting it. Like I think he would have had to re-break it and set it, and he would have missed more time. So just kind of played through. But his shot's never been quite the same, and you know that kind of his career trajectory.
Yeah, but in off season, why not get that done like right after the season? Boom, boom. Yeah. Okay, most of that chunk is during the off season.
Yeah, I'm not 100% on all the reasoning behind it, but maybe he thought he could play through it or something. But no, I think he's a good enough player, but the contract is always just like the dagger in the conversation. He's fine until you hit that and you're like, I don't really want to pay him that much money. So there's a reason he's on the Utah Jazz.
I think there was I think there's a stigma too. Like it's very hard for people to appreciate a player when you've seen them play at a higher level. Like we saw John Collins be such an important player to the Atlanta Hawks in a playoff run where they made the conference finals. And then once you dip from that, it's kind of what I talked about in the shooting guard episode with Nemhard, is we saw him be so good in the playoffs. If he regresses to his mean, exactly. But if he regresses to his mean, he's still a good NBA player. But people are going to be like, but man, he was this back in that day and this and this and this. That's kind of what he has to deal with. I do want to point to DJJ. I think he's going to be such a fantastic player for the Clippers, especially in their system. Especially where they use Zubac on a short roll and they have somebody cut from the opposite corner. That's going to be DJJ catching lobs all year long from Harden. It's going to be that Zubac setting a high screen, short roll, toss from the corner to DJJ. They've kind of done a lot of that. We talked to Retro, shout out, with a lot of athletic wings and athletic guards and guys who can guard 1 through 4 can switch easily and also can get down in transition. That will help them. I think DJJ can help them a lot. I think we had this discussion off air, and I don't think Rui's probably starting by the end of the year. It's just what the Lakers do. And JJ's going to get in there. He's going to try a bunch of different things, see what sticks. I'm sure the roster is going to move around as well. It will not be at what it is now when we get to post deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeremy Sohan is the interesting one to me, right? Because a lot of people thought very highly on his defensive rebounding before he was playing point Sohan, whatever it was.
Yep.
And that was such an unmitigated disaster. Like, it was so bad, it did not work, that now people are kind of all of us are a lot lower on him. But I think out of these ones, he probably has the room to grow because he can find himself back into a similar role that he was 2 years ago, pre-Wemby, basically. Then I think he's probably a little bit higher than most of us have him.
The question, though, is like, do you need someone who has his gifts as far as rebounding and defense and switchability when you have Wemby out there? Or would you rather have a guy who can actually drain threes and help space the floor? Like, it feels, I don't want to say like his skill set's become less valuable because Wemby is the guy they're building around. And it's not a knock on him. It's just like, for a guy who's had a bad shot for his entire life, like he was the guy who went to the one-handed free throw to try to fix his shot. And I think to his success, it has. Like, it's gotten better year over year. He's improved. And same with his three-point shot. It's getting better. But that's the big thing this year is he needs to be able to catch and shoot threes. He needs to be able to space out the floor. And they need to make sure that, he needs to make sure whatever he needs to do to work around Wemby is the answer. Because outside of, Devin Vassell and now Stephon Castle, those are the only two other guys on the team outside. It's Wemby's team. And then it's just, do you fit in well? Or are we going to churn over roster further? Because Spurs are in no rush. Pop's not in a rush. Pop's
Crazy.
all basketball all the time. He will do it till he dies. Hopefully another 20, 25 years. We're all hoping for just extended Pop period of time. So for me, I think Sohan, it's just that offensive half of his game has to develop. Defensively, it'll be interesting to see what they have him do because Harrison Barnes is not going to help him out next to him. So he's going to be carrying a little bit extra, but I think it's just all offense. That's all we need to see out of him is just define your role offensively and you'll solidify your spot next to Wemby.
Yep. Some of us want to see Brett Brown take over as Spurs coach.
Brett Brown is the eventual successor, wouldn't be bad. Or, a certain WNBA head coach who's...
I don't think she's coming back, though.
Probably not.
I know this isn't that discussion, but I will throw it out there since you brought it up. He's 75. How many more years does he realistically have coaching?
He's going to keep going.
Yeah.
What else is he going to do?
Yeah.
Usually people retire.
But I don't want to. Okay, and I don't want to
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like it's personal stuff. But his wife passed away a couple years ago.
Yeah, I get that.
So it's just him.
Yeah.
So even if he would step away from coaching, I bet you he'd be in the front office.
Yeah, I mean, technically, what is his job title even? I don't even know.
Well, he's president.
President.
I'm talking about head coaching though. I'm not talking about stepping away. I'm talking about retiring from coaching.
I think we got 5 to 7 years. I think he wants to get Wemby into his prime and try to win one more. If he wins one more, he's done.
That's
what
insane
I think.
to even say. Imagine winning one. Yeah, say coaching your 80s, winning a championship. With Tim Duncan and the Admiral, and then moving on to Wemby, and it's just
you can literally watch the evolution of big men through his coaching career.
Yep.
Right.
Can't tell the game without him.
When he took over, wasn't Hakeem was the best big in the league? Right? Wasn't it mid-90s he took over?
Would have been, yeah.
Yeah. So he goes from Hakeem to Duncan to AD to Jokic and Embiid into Wemby.
Yeah,
you know how crazy that evolution is.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to think of where the game was where he took over to where it is now, and he's still one of the top coaches because he doesn't rest on his his system and all that. He adjusts.
Yep.
Ricky, I'll throw it to you. Patrick Williams at 22, as you guys can go back and forth, but as the resident Bulls fans, what's your expectation for him this year? With DeMar stepping away, there are shots there. So do you think Patrick Williams on ball duty, shots off the dribble? What do you think he needs to extend his game in?
I just need some consistency. I hate to say, I just need some consistency out of the Paul. And I need him to be Kobe White stepped up last year. Kobe White's hey, if we don't have Zach, trust in me. I can say Kobe White did that. I need the Paul to also be like, hey, I can be a core of this team too, instead of like, do we want to keep him? Do we want to use him as a trade piece down the line? Like, unless I'm wrong, that's how I see with Patrick Williams of like, the best is great, but am I always going to get that all the time? Or should we just use him as a trade piece down the line? Not this season, but like down the line, he's going to turn into a trade piece to either get something or whether that be draft picks or a different player, like a Vusi type deal where we're getting a vet to come in.
I think it's funny you say you're looking for consistency. I mean, that's all he ever has been. He's been consistent. He's been the same player in the league for the last 4 years. He is who we thought he was. Everybody wanted to put this moniker on him. You know, he's the Paul, like, you know, he's Kawhi Leonard-esque. That's why we gave him the nickname. He had the measurables. He had the body build. He had
Maybe
the frame.
I need him to be better consistent, like better, consistently better.
You're not asking for consistent because that's always been.
I'm looking for consistently better and maybe play more than 40 games. That would help.
You would like growth out of him. Yeah, he's been snake bitten.
You know what? You're right. He is Kawhi because he doesn't play.
Wow, there is, you know, but the point is like the expectations for him were incredibly high, and for someone who came into the team with his personality out the gates, I remember how much people in Chicago hated the fact that it was like, he's like this, you know, super shy kid. There was something about like a flower shop or something. It was all just like this feel good story, and he was a super, you know, like reserved guy. And I think that everybody wanted him to become Kawhi Leonard, and it's like that. He ain't Kawhi Leonard, you know. What he is.
I'm gonna need him to not be Kawhi Leonard because looking at the amount of games he's played, he's Kawhi Leonard, Dave.
Well, what he is one of the best wing defenders in the NBA, bar none. He is always, when healthy, when he's on the court, he's either 1, 2, or 3 in wing defense. Like, it's just incredible for how little recognition he gets for it, because he has to play next to, you know, Vucevic guarding the rim behind him, or, you know, Zach LaVine next to him, who we just got done talking about his choice to not play defense, which I'm sure that felt great as Patrick Williams, having to make up for someone like that when you're just effort, or DeMar DeRozan even, you know, for the time that they played together, where it's just a guy who's like, I don't try on that side of the court as much as I need to because I need to carry the entire offensive load and then some. So what I see out of him is like, is he someone who in 5 years is going to look like, you know, a DJJ or a Jeff Green, where he's just going to continually be a role player, and he might bounce around the league. He'll have his value, you know.
That's what that's the role he could fall
Torrey Craig
into.
Plus, you know. But the question is he going to grow at all, or is that just who he is? Like, incredibly gifted athlete, but there's just not been, you know, that extra step. And for all this time, we've been like, well, he's got the training weights on, basically. He's got no shot attempts because Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, they run the show. Our offense isn't built around him. He gets told to stand in the corner. We watched one playoff game. Oh, I know. I'm building that. So we got one playoff game where he popped off against Milwaukee while we were getting our asses blasted. And it's just like, well, that's the moment we're all going to grab onto. And then we turn around and we go, look at him in Summer League. We're going to put our third-year player in Summer League so he can build some confidence. That's the level we were at here in Chicago, where we're like encouraging that. And we're like, oh, that's a great sign that he's got, you know, some great moves going on in Summer League. Man, you just cannot focus.
It just happened to my camera.
You are too pasty to focus.
It thinks you're a part of the background.
Yeah, that's weird.
I bet you if you turn your thing off it.
Yeah, just bring it off and on. Oh.
No.
You're
keep going about Patrick Williams. Wow, what a time to be alive.
So my point is, we've done a couple years worth of damage to this guy as far as his mentality and trying to become more than just a role player on a team. This is the year. This is called we have to go tell Zach he needs to put everything on the line to get traded and be the best team player he can. And we're going to tell Patrick Williams that, hey, you're either going to do well this year, or there's this guy named Modest Buzelis who's going to soak your minutes. And he's going to shoot terribly, and that's okay, because we are somehow competing and tanking at the same time. We are just stuck on the hamster wheel of mediocrity here in Chicago, and we're okay with that. So I feel like this year expectations for Patrick Williams, you said get better. I think get better. I think if he averages an extra 3 points, which is a lot when you think about it for him.
But he only averaged 10 points last year, so 3
I
points
know.
would be
That's
huge.
what I'm saying. That's a massive percentage increase if you go from 10 to 13. That's
like
an
a 3
incredible...
a game. Give me a 3 a game.
But that's literally 1/3 of his current production, or like 3 point,
You know what's actually funny? And I kind of think about this.
He's a good shooter.
I'm looking at the 2020 draft, his draft class, right?
Yeah.
When you look at the bigs, like centers and power forwards, Wiseman, Williams, Okongwu, Toppin, Denny, Jalen Smith, and then Isaiah Stewart. How many of those guys are like I'll put it this way, Dave, the other side, the backcourt, Ant, LaMelo, Tyrese Maxey, Tyrese Halliburton, like there were a lot more guards that just went, yep, I'm top of the league here.
There's some talent there for sure.
Was it just a bad
you did
big
mention Devin
draft?
Vassell. He's not a big though.
Patrick
Williams is a small forward.
Power forward center, front court draft then.
He's a small forward. We just played him out of position because we just built an abysmal team. Roster construction's a real bitch.
Mm-hmm. You're not wrong.
Like,
I mean, Basketball Reference has him as a power forward. He's in the power forward ranking.
That's because we played him as a power forward, but he's a small forward. He was a bench small forward in college. He should have been a small forward on the Chicago Bulls, but we forced him into a lineup because his defense is that good. It didn't matter because he's built like he's got
because we thought he'd be Kawhi.
We thought he'd be Kawhi. Mm-hmm. He's got Kawhi-esque defense, but unfortunately Kawhi played that defense, when it mattered, and Patrick Williams hasn't seen when it mattered.
Is it funny that 20th pick in his draft out of Washington? Would you say better defensively than him, Jaden McDaniels?
Yes.
Now I'm looking at that draft and just being like, how many people are better than Patrick Williams?
There's a lot.
I don't know if it's like a ton, but Jaden McDaniels has a bigger wingspan and has a bit more fluidity to his game.
P. Will was AK's first draft pick, no?
Really good. Yeah, and that's why we haven't given up on him.
Okay.
That's why we haven't given up on him. We're just going to keep rolling. And we'll see. He's got the opportunity this year. If Zach doesn't soak 35 shots a night and get traded, like, it's basically Zach needs to either get hurt again, like he does, or get traded, like we all wish he would. And then we'll see what Patrick Williams can do without, all those shots being taken away from him.
Okay. Well, that
was my diatribe on Patrick Williams. Thank you all for listening to my TED Talk.
non-Bulls fan, I'll be the realistic one here. You guys didn't discuss that Patrick Williams has had the opportunity to take shots, and he looks shy when he's given the ball.
Yeah, because he doesn't have the confidence.
That's exactly the point.
Coach doesn't give him the confidence.
No, the confidence is not something that should be blamed on anybody else. That's a you thing.
It's a both thing. If you realize that someone doesn't have confidence, you can help them. You just don't say, "Well, you're a lost cause. You don't have it."
But as in life, somebody has to be willing to help themselves. And Patrick Williams has been the same exact player that he was 4 years ago, however long ago it was when he was drafted. It's just he doesn't inspire. Like, I don't look at him, and you guys call him the paw and say he was going to be like Kawhi. I don't look at him, and I never looked at him like that. Like, this is what he is, and maybe he has a little bit more offensive upside. But if in 4 years you don't see somebody be more aggressive when they get the ball, he gets the ball. It's not like he's standing there in the corner and never touches the ball. He definitely touches the ball, right? Yes, he does, Dave. He definitely touches the ball. And if his offensive game was, let's say the words good enough, off the dribble, he would be given the ball more. It's not just a thing of where they're going to throw him the ball. And why he doesn't get the ball is because they have guys like last year, Kobe and DeMar, who are elite offensive players.
Yep.
This year, you have Giddey, who needs the ball in his hands 80% of the time when he's going to be on the court. You have Kobe, who's the same player. And you're bringing Zach LaVine back. And don't forget, Vucevic needs to get his shots as well.
Vucevic's got to get the first shot of the game and 90% of the time miss it.
Hey, and guess what? Buzelis, who's already coming into the league, probably is a better offensive player than Patrick Williams, is going to get the ball as well.
He's not a better shooter, but,
Better player, though. You don't have to be a better shooter to be a better offensive player. What I'm saying is when Buzelis gets the ball, you're not going to see him hesitate. That dude's going to go. I'm not saying how high his upside is because I don't know yet. I have to see him play inside the balls.
Personally.
Yeah, of course. Personally, he's a Bulls player.
Of course.
I'm just saying, all these things that I've heard for 3 years now, eventually it's gonna have to be tracked back to Patrick Williams, and he's gonna have to help himself. He's gonna have to force
has
that.
Been 14-9, 14-2, 15-7, and 16-6.
So it went up, and what happened?
By point.
No, 2% from the beginning of his career.
By 1.
But you can't. But listen, there's no evidence to tell me that I should give the ball to Patrick Williams and have a 25% usage. There's no evidence.
No, but I'm saying like we should be comparing him to guys with similar usage percentages as him. Yeah. Like what's DJJ's last year?
You have to look it up. I'm not sure.
Okay, I got you.
I don't know. I was saying you're the stat
I'm
guy
with a freaking charger. I'm just like whatever.
All I'm saying is while you're doing that, I have a fun trivia for you. So Greg Popovich took over for the Spurs in '96.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know his first starting lineup?
Oh, Duncan was not there.
No, neither Duncan nor Robinson were there.
Yeah, because Duncan was, I think, his first draft.
Definitely not Duncan Robinson.
Definitely not. Ready for this? You got Sean Elliott.
Yep.
Avery Johnson.
Yep.
Greg Anderson.
Yep.
Vinny Del Negro.
Yep.
And Carl Herrera.
Yep.
Off the bench, you got Vernon Maxwell and Dominique Wilkins.
Yep.
And Will Purdue was also chilling there. And
watched a Secret Base video recently. Old Secret Base video about him.
And past Pistons coach now, Monty Williams, was on the bench.
Nice.
It's just it's interesting.
DJJ, 15% usage.
Yeah, but and if you're gonna ask me, who would I rather have on my team? I'd much rather have DJJ on my team. But I think that Patrick Williams, like I don't buy into the, I don't want to call it delusion, but like the insanity over and over that I keep hearing that he's gonna take this jump. He's gonna take. There aren't signs with.
We're asking for 3 points.
Yeah, but there aren't signs with him like there were signs with Kobe White. I watched Kobe White and I'm like, dude, this guy has the most bold-faced confidence I've ever seen. If he just figures out his efficiency a little bit, he's going to be better, right? Yeah. He's going to take that jump. I even see that a little bit in Buzelis, but he hasn't played yet, so I'll restrict my takes on him for now. Sure. Patrick Williams, I don't know. It's the same thing over and over again, and it's not going to change. That's honestly in my mind. The last thing I want to talk about, 21-30, I'll just do it really quickly, is Caleb Martin, the Sixer. I don't think he's going to have like a gaudy offensive game in the regular season, but he is a known playoff riser, which is one of the reasons I'm excited that we signed him, and he's a known Celtic killer in the playoffs. So it'll be interesting to see.
Excited about.
Yeah, we finally might have somebody who actually plays against the Celtics well besides Tyrese Maxey. So yeah, that's the exciting part about him. He's going to play defense, but again, his best defensive attribute is off the ball, playing passing lanes and jumping passes. It's about the best. That's all Oubre, Paul George, and Caleb Martin are good at defensively. So it'll be interesting to see how the Sixers mix and match lineups. Right now we have him at the 4, but I assume at some point he's probably going to play some of the 3 with Yabusele at the 4 and Drummond or Embiid at the 5. So it'll be interesting to see the lineups. Rookie Council will also slide in there. But I'm excited for him mostly. Just keep healthy. Hopefully we get to the playoffs with a somewhat healthy roster, and he'll be able to show his best attributes, I would say.
Caleb Martin, 16, 16, 14, 17. For usages,
and we've seen him in the.
We're talking about the same players,
and Caleb Martin's better.
Is he?
Yes, because we've seen him in the playoffs as a riser.
Seen him in playoffs as a riser
over and over. But I'm not. We've
only once technically, but yeah,
no, twice. No, whatever. It doesn't matter. Either way, we've seen it. Either way, we've seen it.
And technically, Patrick Williams was a riser in that Bucks series. He did.
I'm not engaging you in that conversation, Dave. Stop with your delusion. Anything else you guys want to touch on 21-30 before we move on?
You're not sure I can?
No, I think we're.
As always, we'd like to thank the people that make these videos possible, our patrons whose names are displayed on the screen now. If you would like to become a patron, go ahead and click the Patreon icon in the bottom right. And if you'd like to check out another video from MVP Sports, hit the video in the upper left. As always, thanks for watching.